Stand by for manual transmission in 3, 2, 1.
07 Commanders, Manus Dextra here, and welcome to Phase 3 of my Master Career Plan for New Commanders. In Phase 2, I took about 13 million credits to build a Diamondback Explorer outfitted for exploration. Then I set out on a 5,000 light-year plus exploration mission with two goals. One, to unlock Professor Palin for thruster upgrades, and B, to earn even more credits. The trip actually covered about 30,000 light years, what with diversions off the Neutron Highway for restroom breaks and a side trip to that Stuckey's way past the Holy Twins. It was totally worth it for the pecan log food cartridges. So in the last episode, I cashed in all my tender, juicy exploration data for about 600 million credits. And that's a one spicy money meatball, Maynard. Note to self, avoid working on the script before lunch. So anyway, now it's time to spend that money on our first new ship, the Krait Mk II. This is going to be a general purpose build suitable for hauling cargo, mining, and bounty hunting. I'm going to use mine mainly for Painite mining and bounty hunting in the local resource extraction site. To help me explain my master plan, here's my faithful minion, Barry Allen. For those who might not be aware, Barry is my own creation, engineered from the genetic material of notoriously grumpy comic book writer Alan Moore, mixed with the stuffings of a Care Bear. The result is kinder and gentler, yes, but no less brilliant. So, take it away, Barry.
Yes, thank you, Master. As per the plan, mining is going to do three important things for us. First, it will let us gain access to Selene Jean and her sweet armor and hull reinforcement upgrades. We'll need to mine 500 tons of ore and donate 10 tons of Painite to curry her favor. Second, while we mine, we will also accumulate engineering materials needed to actually do the engineering we wanna do. And finally, we'll make a lot of money since mining is, despite recent nerfs, still extremely profitable. 500 tons of Painite will more than pay for our new ship. And, when we aren't mining, we can use the ship to gather even more engineering materials data and manufactured while we bounty hunt. Collector limpets and awake scanner will make this activity even more efficient. Using this approach, Mr. Dextra has been able to gather all the engineering materials he's needed so far. Of course, this is not surprising, considering Mr. Dextra's wealth of skill, charm, and sheer animal magnetism. Most sentient beings want to be him because of his masterful elite dangerous skills. And all beings with any taste want to be with him. Sexually, I mean. Tip number 1. Remember, even if you don't need a specific material for engineering, you can always trade it for what you do need at the material trader. So, gather materials whenever you can. This will definitely help to take the grind out of things later on. If you do find yourself running short of materials, high-grade emissions, which can be found using your FSS, are great for sourcing rare manufactured materials, and geological point of interest such as geysers are awesome for farming raw materials. For data, just try to scan every ship and wake you see. Most of the time you'll get engineering data in addition to info about the ship you're looking at. As always, INARA is a fantastic resource for all things engineering, so use it to keep track of materials and find material traders. If you use Elite Dangerous Market Connector and link it to an account with INARA, you can keep track of your engineering materials on the website in real time. This definitely makes engineering much easier and a lot less tedious.
Thanks, Barry. So, before we break down the build, let's talk about why I picked the Krait Mk II, since credits really aren't an issue. It's mainly just personal preference. When I'm not making videos, I usually play in VR, and the Krait is a really cool place to experience in VR. I also much prefer the way the Krait performs in combat as compared to, say, the Python. Again, this is just personal preference. Many commanders love the Python for bounty hunting, and I'd say it is a much better miner and trader than the Krait. So kids, for anyone playing along at home, feel free to substitute the Python for the Krait in this phase if you prefer. Alright Barry, go through the build.
As built, this ship will cost about 145 million credits. Check the description for a Coriolis link to this build. For this level 1 easy engineering build we are using Felicity Farseer 4, Grade 5 FSD increased range with Mass Manager, Grade 3 Thruster Dirty Drive tuning with drag drives, Grade 1 Heavy Duty Shield Booster with Super Capacitors, Grade 1 Resistance Augmented Shield Booster with Super Capacitors. We're using Elvira Marchuk 4, Grade 3 Thermal Resistant Shields with Low Draw Effect, and Todd the Blaster McQueen 4, Grade 5 Overcharged Multi-Cannons with Corrosive Effect and Incendiary Rounds. Although we're only engineered to level 2 in the current build. For core internals, no change to the hull, yet. The 7A power plant is huge and we don't need to engineer it at this stage. As a matter of fact, feel free to downgrade this module if you want to save credits or mass. For thrusters we want the most speed we can get. At this point, that means 6A thrusters, with Grade 3 Dirty Drive tunings and the drag drive's experimental effect. Next, we have a 5A frame shift drive with Grade 5 increased range and Mass Manager experimental effect. We have a 4D life support module, with no engineering yet. The 7A power distributor is more than adequate for our needs. So, no urgent need to engineer this. And to finish out core internals we have 6D sensors, adequate for our needs and not engineered as of now. For optional internals, we're using a Class 6C by Weave Shield, engineered for thermal resistance with the low draw experimental effect. This combination will give us a fast regenerating shield, that's extra tough against energy weapons with a lower power draw. For cargo, we have one Class 6 and one Class 5 rack for a total cargo capacity of 96 tons. We'll go with a 5A fuel scoop for quality of life. For mining, we'll start with a 4A refinery, one Class 1A Prospector limpet controller, two Class 3A collector limpet controllers, and a detailed surface scanner. You'll need this to map hotspots in any ring system you mine. For hard points, we'll go with 3 Class 3 gimbaled multi-cannons. We'll engineer all 3 to be overcharged, with corrosive effects on one and incendiary rounds on another. In the Class 2 slots, we'll go with fixed mining lasers. For utilities, we'll go with a chaff launcher, and 3 Class A shield boosters. Currently one is engineered to Grade 1 heavy duty and the other 2 are engineered for augmented resistance to Grade 1. All 3 use the super capacitor effect for increased shield boosting capacity.
So, now that we have our ship built, let's do some mining. But first we need to find a place to go. I suggest using the miner's tool. This tool works exactly like Road to Riches. Just enter a reference system and it will generate a list of known Painite double hotspots. The list of hotspots is solid. However, due to the new supply and demand system in the game, commodity prices are extremely volatile and you cannot count on the sell prices shown to be accurate. On a side note, this build is good for low temperature diamond mining too. LTD prices are high and much more stable than prices for Painite. However, diamonds are a lot harder to find in my experience, so I still prefer mining Painite. Your mileage may vary.
Painite mining itself is pretty easy. When you approach the ring system for the first time, you'll need to map it with your DSS. Once mapped, hotspots for various ores will be highlighted. We want to mine in the area of overlap between the two Painite hotspots, because this area will have the highest density of asteroids bearing Painite. Once we've located the overlap, we just head in and start prospecting. Pull up the Prospector Limpet Controller Fire Group, approach a rock and shoot. When the limpet launches, target it and wait for it to impact the rock. Once done, you should have a full readout of what the rock is made of in your lower left panel. If it contains Painite, it's time to deploy our cargo scoop, launch our collector limpets, and start blasting the rock with our mining lasers. The limpets will automatically start collecting ore fragments and feed them to your refinery. And that's basically it. If the limpets are picking up things besides Painite, and they will at first, you can set up an ignore list in the contacts tab of the left side control panel.
Thanks again, Bear. So, that's my easy engineered Krait Mk II general purpose build. If you found any of this useful, like and subscribe for more. In the next video, we'll continue gathering materials and engineering as we play, and I'll share my brand new and improved easy engineered Alliance Chieftain build. Man, is it good for making things explode. So until then, Commanders.
You will now be released from manual control. Mr. Dextra thanks you for your cooperation. You will now be released from manual control. Mr. Dextra